I couldn't hear the last part. I'm gonna give you the answer to the question, and then you tell me if I answered the whole question because it got a little bit broken at the end. But uh, it is. I mean, I hear all the time of women telling me that when they were pregnant, they still had their periods, or at least the next period. So they were never sure they were pregnant. There's actually two different explanations for this. It is normal to have bleeding basically at day 6. Of course, this changes with every patient, but at the day 6 after the implantation of the embryo, there's a little bleeding. So women might confuse it with their menstrual period. And of course, if this happens around the day 15, 6 days later, which is the day 21, that might be very in the time where you were expecting your period, because usually it takes about 26, 28 days for a normal period. So if this happens at the day 22nd, then you might confuse it and you say, oh, I came earlier, but I had my period. The second explanation is that every time there's movement with the embryo, which there shouldn't be, but if there is some movement, the endometrium will start bleeding, and this might cause very light bleeding. But of course, this would be an emergency. If you already know that you're pregnant and you're having any kind of bleeding, you should go to your doctor, because what we do is that we have to perform an ultrasound to see if there is any cause for that bleeding. Usually we will find a hematoma, which is blood accumulation in the back of where the embryo is implanted. So we know that there's a chance of having a miscarriage. So we have to do certain things to prevent that. But certain women never go to the doctor, and they think that bleeding was because of their menstrual period, but it was simply because they were having actually the first signs of miscarriage. And maybe that never happens, and their babies simply are born normally, and some others might actually have the miscarriage. So I don't know if that answers your question.